Good morning. Good morning. So my name is Clyde Goings. I am honored to serve as one of your licensed practitioners here in the community. And I also want to announce I just completed my first year of ministerial school. So we just want to welcome you all to the community. And this is Practitioner Sunday. So the practitioners are the ones that are wearing the purple stoves. And I'm not sure if you know this or not, but we have 14 practitioners in our community. So our practitioners, we're here to teach classes. We're here for spiritual counseling, providing prayer for you, and most importantly, to see the spiritual truth in you. So we just want you to open up your hearts and minds today for the beautiful message from Alexis and Sandra Francis. Before we get started on with the service, we have a surprise for you. So we have a little video from Reverend Petra from Switzerland.
Hi, I'm saying hello to you from the Chateau de Beausset here in Geneva, Switzerland. Gosh, I miss you guys. I hope you're following the blog or seeing the pictures I've posted on Facebook. It's really amazing to be here. It's amazing to see Science of Mind and New Thought being spread here in Europe. They've got like 20 kids coming and 120 folks for the week, and it's amazing to be with these wonderful presenters, Karen Rousseau and David Alt, Michael, of course, and Cynthia James and Dennis Merritt Jones. What a wonderful group of people. So we're really here to support Reverend Beth and growing the Science of Mind and New Thought here in Geneva and all over Europe. And you guys are a part of it because I get to be here. And because of you, because of your support, I get to be doing this. So I know you're going to have a fabulous Sunday, that you're having a great week and a week ahead of you. And yeah, I just really miss you, and I'll talk to you soon. Check out the blog. Talk to you later. Bye.
Our very own lovely and wonderful Gary is going to sing for you now.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with.
good morning. Good morning. Welcome here this morning. My name is Sandra Francis, and I'm honored to be one of your licensed practitioners here supporting this service today. I guess we could say while the cat's away, or while the, or maybe the inmates are running the asylum this morning. But in any case, we are so glad to have you with us. Oh, I'm glad you like that. Glad you like that. Yeah, so I have a little exercise for you guys to start off with today. So if you're able to stand, don't stand if it bothers you in any way. If you're able to stand, would you stand up? And put a little room between yourself and your neighbor. Just kind of place your legs comfortably apart, not too far and not too close. If there's room to kind of hold your arms out. Okay. Okay. This is pretty much a feeling of, and just relax now, this is pretty much a feeling of balance, isn't it? This is a feeling, okay, I guess we all feel fairly balanced. Okay. Now slowly, as much as you can, stand on whichever foot feels the most comfortable and just lift the other foot gently. Keep it, don't fall over, but keep it up as long as you can. Wow, that's tough, isn't it? That's tough, isn't it? Okay, so what's important in this exercise? A sense of balance, right. Okay, thank you so much. You can sit down. All right. Well, that kind of got our circulation going. So, actually, I was told to pick up the pace for this service. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Our book this month is Sabbath by Wayne Mueller. Veronica started us off last week with a wonderful lesson from that, and we're continuing that today. And this is all about rest and renewal for our lives, which in a sense this is a very valid part of our life experience. We work really hard, and our culture is just, we place a lot of emphasis on ambition and drive and getting there and accomplishing goals. And I think, especially in this American culture, we don't take the time we need to just kind of step back from that a little bit. And this stepping back doesn't necessarily have to mean sitting cross-legged on the floor and chanting for 30 minutes or so. It can mean just a myriad of things. It involves play. It involves spending time with friends. It involves watching sunsets, listening to music, and it can involve your spiritual practices. But it's all about balance, because as we see, we can't just stand on one foot for very long. We kind of topple over, don't we? And I have to think in the larger aspect of things, this is what happens to our lives. They get out of sync when we get out of balance. So it's kind of like a chair, a four-legged chair, like one of these chairs. If we knock the leg off of one of these chairs, it'd be hard to sit in it, wouldn't it? I guess you could sit in it if you really wanted to, but it would be hard to sit in it with only 3 legs. What I just want to offer to you this morning, this thing about finding time, making time within the linear time that we experience on this planet. And there's a whole nother talk about time. You know, what is time, and there is no time in God really, and all of that. But as long as we're in this physical experience, we live within that, don't we? So it's up to us to take a portion of that, to bring balance to our life in whatever way benefits us most. We offer things here at the center. We offer playthings, we offer meals, we offer barbecues. We have our own Saturday Night Live here. Once a month, the Mystic Note is on. Check. It was on. Okay. So, yeah, so there are lots of things we can do, or during the week, I know people that come up here and just chill out. They come up here just to be with the energy, just to be with the consciousness up here. So I just want to encourage you for a part of our talk this morning to just be more aware of how you can balance your day-to-day life. Mueller says, this will be the first quote, Mueller says that when we engage in purposeless enjoyment of one another, we harvest some of the sweetest fruits of life. Purposeless enjoyment. Do we think about that? About just doing something just because without any purpose behind it? Just sitting, talking with a friend, having a cup of tea, having something stronger than a cup of tea, but whatever that, however that works for you. I googled the term siesta. That's a common term, especially here in Texas, and discovered some of the history around this practice. This is a practice that's done in a lot of other countries. Most of them countries that are really hot during the midday, but I also read that it's done in some of the very northern countries. So there has to be some benefit to this, and it's a scientific proven benefit that it actually helps to lower blood pressure. So I don't know if your boss would go for this, but you might. I don't know. A siesta. Well, during the weekends we tend to do that more, I guess. So these are the kinds of activities that help us mentally, emotionally, and physically help us to balance our life. And of course, my partner and I work constantly to balance our intense love of service here with playtime, with recreation, and with spiritual practice. And I just want to encourage all of you to do this. Wendell Berry is another individual that's quoted in Mueller's book, and he says it is useful during Sabbath to clarify or reaffirm those principles that calibrate our inner compass. Calibrate our inner compass. I'm getting some good feedback. Back here, the boy or girl, they're saying yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, calibrate our inner compass to illuminate our inner direction. That's really pretty insightful. What happens when you calibrate a compass? It's set to give you the perfect direction, the perfect guidance. So take time to calibrate your inner compass. So yeah, I'm going to pass this off to Alexis, but I would love to close my little portion with just the chorus from an old song. And if you know this song, then I know that you're my age or older. And sing along with me. We'll just sing it once.
You don't stop. stop and smell the roses. You gotta count your many blessings every day. Gonna find the way to heaven. It's a rock and rocky road. Don't stop and smell the roses. One more time. You gotta stop and smell the roses. You gotta count your many blessings every day. Every day you gotta find the way to heaven. It's a rough and rocky road. Don't stop and smell the roses one time. If you don't stop and smell the roses along the way.
Thank you, Sandra. So, how do we create Sabbath in today's high-tech world? How many people here own a cell phone? Maybe the question should be asked, how many people here don't own a cell phone? Anybody? That is amazing. I remember those days. Almost 2 decades ago, I was working at CBS in New York, and in those days, they had these huge cell phones, and each department had a few, and you check them out if you were going out of town on a story. But I had a friend that I worked with who was a young mother, and she actually had a personal cell phone, and I was fascinated by that. But she says, hey, I got kids at home with a nanny. My husband works, he also works at TV News, and he travels a lot, and I need to check in with them. And she said, one day, Alexis, you're going to have a cell phone. She knew what she was talking about, obviously. So, back then, we had payphones. Anybody remember that? And I was in New York, they had them on every corner, and I used them. I kept my quarters, and I also kept Kleenex because those were the days before hand sanitizer. So I used those payphones very cautiously with my Kleenex, wiping off the mouthpiece before I talked in it and holding it. But now the cell phones have become slimmer, trimmer, and smarter. And so when we take our breaks, how many of you, when you take your break, are you on your phone? I know you are. Even though you're not raising your hands. I know when you're taking your break, you're checking your email, you're texting, you're playing Words with Friends. I know what you're doing on the cell phone when you take a break. And when Alvin told me about texting about 5 years ago, I was like, seriously? Who is going to text on those little keypads on a phone? Who's going to type that? But here I am texting every day. We have seriously gotten attached to our cell phones, our iPods, our iPads, our laptops, our computers, and that's okay, because we do need this technology. But we need to make breaks real, hands-free, literally. Because when we take a break, it's really time to honor ourselves. So I love this month's book as the Sabbath. The subtitle is Finding Rest, Renewal, and Delight in Our Busy Lives. And it did that for me. It refreshed me and reminded me of why it's so important to take time out and pay full attention to yourself, to your loved ones, through sacred time, through rhythm, through rest, through ritual. In this book, Wayne Muller, he talks about the story of W.R. Kellogg, and Kellogg is, of course, the maker of Kellogg's cornflakes, which, of course, I ate growing up, and I'm sure a lot of you have eaten cornflakes, and I still do. And I always loved those cornflakes, even before they had Gabby Douglas on the box. But what he did when they had the Great Depression is he cut back work shifts at his plant. And he said, we can solve the depression if we cut back to 6 hours. So therefore, he went from 3 8-hour shifts to 4 6-hour shifts. And it was really fantastic. There was increased productivity. The workers loved it because they had more time with their families. The government came in and did studies. They studied all of this. And it really worked. And they did that all the way up until World War II, when Roosevelt mandated that they had to have a longer work week. But when the war ended, the workers voted 3-1 to go back to the 6-hour shift because that time was so important to them. They called it a moral act that, you know, they had that extra time so that they could be at home, so they could enjoy. They could listen to what their children were doing, what their spouses were doing. It was really, really great. However, you know, 50s came and went, 60s came, TV is here, all sorts of things are being invented, and people wanted more money so they could buy more stuff. So in 1984, they actually voted to go back to 8 hours so they could have more money to buy more stuff. And so I know that we overwork ourselves, don't we? We're out there hustling, making money so we can have more stuff. But we need to take time to take a break. Because what does that stuff do? It distracts us from spending time with ourselves, from spending time with our spirit, our soul, from spending time with our families. Gary sang time in a bottle so beautifully this morning. And we do. We need to put time in a bottle so that we can have it. We need to dedicate time. And we can open up that bottle whatever we need to rejuvenate ourselves, to renew ourselves, to refresh ourselves. And so I'm encouraging, Sandra and I are encouraging you today to really consider putting time in a bottle. There are 2 quotes from the Bible that I thought that are in the book, and they are so appropriate. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Every day we need to be rejoicing in our days. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. And yes, our souls are restored when we do take that time. And there's so many ways to be able to do that. How often do you really take the time to look into your spouse's eyes, or your children's eyes, your friend's eyes, in deep conversation? We need that connection. It does restore us. We always need rest, renewal in our lives. You have a rhythm inside you. Your heart beats. Take a moment, put your hand on your heart. Listen to that heartbeat. What a beautiful rhythm we have inside of us. But how often do we listen to it? How often do you put your hand on your children's heart and listen to their heart, or your spouse's heart? How often do you do that? Probably not. Often enough, I'm guessing. We can create Sabbath anytime, any day, anywhere. And you owe it to yourself to do that. In New York, when I lived there, I woke up to traffic. Here, what I noticed immediately when I came back to Dallas is that I woke up to birds singing. And I still love to wake up to the birds singing and watch them play. It's just a beautiful act of nature. And we have nature, and we need to savor that nature, hearing the rain, even walking in the rain. Do you know that Africans, of course, in Africa, in West Africa, summer is their winter is like summer. And Africans walk in the rain. They love the rain so much. And it's it's warm, it's a light summer rain, and it's a beautiful practice to do, to walk in the rain. And we can get out. We can witness the magic of nature every day. Take a walk, go to the park. I was at the beach last week, and It was so beautiful to listen to the sound of the ocean waves going back and forth. And so I took a video, I did a 5-minute video so that I can be able to take a break whenever I need it and pull out my, yes, my cell phone, and watch that video and listen to those waves, those ocean waves. I didn't say that we shouldn't get rid of them. Sometimes even when the clouds are low in the sky, have you ever noticed when the clouds are low in the sky and thick and full, they almost look like mountains? I love it when that happens. And I say, but the mountains are out in Dallas, you know, because the clouds are there. That's what they say when you see the mountains in Seattle because it rains so much. They say, the mountains are out. Well, I like to imagine the mountains are out in Dallas when the clouds are low. So we all have ways that we can create Sabbath space. And the first order of business is to set that time. Set that time to spend with yourself, to spend with God, to spend with your loved ones. It doesn't take, you can schedule your appointments, you can schedule the time you do work, schedule, you know, when you're doing your exercise. So schedule some sacred space time, sacred Sabbath space time. And then savor that rhythm of nature, that rhythm within yourself. Do that as much as possible. We really need to make rituals routines in our lives. Morning, noon, night. Create a ritual that remembers the truth of who you are. So you can always be open in sweet surrender to the God within. Really do that. You got a card today when you came in this morning. This card right here that Alva put together. And unfortunately, she had to take her mom to the hospital. So keep her and her mom in your prayers. So she's not here with us today, but she created this card with rituals on it for you so that you can keep this card with you, keep it in your car, keep it at your desk, so whenever you need a break, you have a practice that you can pick out from this card and utilize. And there are more in the book, which I encourage you to get. And then don't forget, as Sandra mentioned, that beautiful aspect of play. We all need to play, and we need to play and we need to laugh every day. You have such a creative imagination because you are a fabulous, phenomenal expression of God, and you are tapped into universal mind. So the ideas and ways that you can spend creating Sabbath space are endless. And so just take a moment, and I'm sure an idea will come to you. And rituals. The ritual of release is also very important. As American consumers, we do have a lot of stuff. And I'm sure many of you participate in the greening of America, you're recycling, you're reusing. And so releasing is a very good practice. In Prosperity Plus, the class that Diane Consolino and I are co-teaching, one of the practices is to clear. And to spend at least 15 minutes a day clearing a kitchen drawer, the bathroom cabinet, part of your closet, your desk. Spend 15 minutes clearing. There is something that you can get rid of. There is something that somebody else might be able to use. So that is a spiritual practice. It's mindfulness. It's spending time making way for the new. So it's a holy time. And so that's what Sabbath is about. It is about resting, clearing, ritual, rhythm with purpose. And so this is what we're inviting you to do today. Now, we are the practitioners, us putting on this service. We are your bridge. Not only over troubled waters, but also your bridge to your successes, achieving your goals, celebrating your wins, helping you along the way. remembering who you really are. And so take advantage of us. Our numbers are on the back of this card. You can call us at any time. You can set up counseling sessions with us. And especially today after the service, we're having tune-ups. Please make our day and ask us to pray and come over and join us over by the stained glass windows and get a tune-up, get a prayer. So, and let me say, I do want to make one correction to Clyde saying there were 14 practitioners. We actually have 15 practitioners. We do have one at large, Bob Swaller, but he is here from time to time, mostly in the fall and the winter. But we do have 15 practitioners. So there's plenty of us to go around, so give us a call. And now we are going to affirm a commitment to sacred Sabbath together in a prayer that we're going to read together. The practitioners are going to come down the aisles, and we're going to stand and hold hands and do our prayer together today, because we want to make sure that you make time, because you don't have time not to make time. So please stand and we'll say our prayer together today. Breathing in as and through God in each moment of my life, I recognize God is all there is. This magnificent, awesome, amazing God is powerful beyond measure, all-knowing and ever-present. It is filled with divine time, perfect peace, the rhythm of rest, sacred Sabbath, and the absolute delight of life itself. God, which has created me in its own image and likeness, lives, moves, and has its being within me 24/7. Therefore, I am a powerful, phenomenal, spiritual being, blessed by God in every possible way. Embedded in the center of God at all times, I speak my word for myself out of that place of God within me that knows only truth. I claim time is my friend, and I make way each day for sacred Sabbath. I savor each moment I spend honoring God, myself, and my loved ones in full attention. I gratefully create my Sabbath space using God's gifts of imagination and playfulness. I easily and effortlessly set aside this precious time, affirming it enlightens, fulfills, and delights me in more ways than I now know. I rejoice in the rest, renewal, and remembering of the truth of who I am and how God endlessly blesses me. In this spiritual ritual of being still, knowing and letting it be, I let go, I let God, I let it come. And God comes in wildly, wonderfully, as the inner music of mindfulness and holiness takes center stage. I am ever so grateful for this truth about me, as Spirit says yes to my commitment for this divine time in God. I place this intention in God's mind, knowing this prayer is divinely activated under the law and manifesting here and now, and so it is. Thank you.